Hi, this screencast is to show you around the site of FIN230 to show you what's in your topics, where to find them, and how basically to study in this subject. Now, the first thing to go to is your subject outline, where obviously your assessments are. Okay, so if you click on this link, we won't spend a lot of time in here, but I just thought I'd show you the schedule and where your assessments are in this document. I'm going to go up the top. Oops, if I can drive my screencast, and expand all. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff in here, but really the business end for you guys is the content. Okay, and then we'll come to quite a large study schedule. Okay, so that's really to show you where you should be up to. Then we've got the prescribed text, the Viney and Phillips 7th edition, and that's what we'll be referring to as the text throughout the learning materials. And then if we come down, sorry, I don't mean to make everyone dizzy by my speed, we've got the sample exam in there, which will be useful towards the end of the session, but here we go with our assessment items. Now, we've changed, as I'm sure you're aware, if you're a continuing student, to a new system, Interact 2, and so unfortunately my linguistics hasn't caught up with the new system. So where I said blog posting, these are now called discussion boards. Okay, but that's all same type, exactly the same thing. We're just using a different word. Now those topics and everything, and how you sign up for your group, I've made another screencast detailing how that will happen. Okay, and those topics are listed when I'll show you around your topics and the forums and all that sort of stuff. So the first two assessment items are the group that you will work with to post or be the lead poster in the discussion for that week. And the second part of that assessment is you being a discussant, meaning when it's not your week to actually post the response, you'll be in making comments, asking questions of the other groups. Okay, so they're the first two assessment items that really, will run each week, basically, 10% each. Now, the ones that are individual are here. I just have to call it by a number, but basically topics 1 to 4 are assessed in this assignment with 15%, which is due on the 8th of April. Okay, and so that's where you'll find out what you have to do and the marking criteria that goes with that. So then we come down and you will see the final assessment item, well, apart from the exam, of course, topics 5 to 8, due on the 13th of May, and the rubric that covers that. Okay, so that's basically the key components of your subject outline. If we pop back into the Interact site, the next really important part are your topics. And we can see here, there's a general introduction to the subject up there, but your topics are organised here, very straightforward. I'm going to show you around topic 3, just because it's got everything within that topic that, I'll cover the whole gamut basically. Okay, I'll try and shuffle my screen over here a little bit so we can see the whole thing. Alright, we've got our learning outcomes for this topic. We've got some things, a little bit of written material. We've got some background reading or reading from your compulsory text and another reading there to help you. Then we come down to our interactive tutorial, and if I click on this, it will take us into another window where there will be basically a mini lecture. I will be giving an overview of the topic and followed by PowerPoint slides. It's a really nice little addition. I'll click on it, and okay, it's stored in our cloud. So if I just log in, which you will be required to do to access it with your CSU username and password, and you can see I've gone full screen. but basically this is what we've got down the side here. Okay, and we can hit play. And question 1, there are little questions all the way through it to assist your learning. Okay, so that's really where your main content in each topic is. Now if we pop back into our site, so that will link straight from the site. There is also another little things that I've added, which are some example calculations, which are like a whiteboard. And so I talk and calculate for you at the same time. It feels a bit spooky in this one because I haven't put any text there. You can see the one down below, which is the second one. I've actually got some problems written there, but you just hit play to access those two interactive whiteboards. Now we come down to the discussion forum. So again, we've got what the actual discussion topic is for this week, and it needs to be posted by this particular date. So this is the very first one. So if you've signed up to group 1, you can access that discussion from within the topic. So if we click on discussion forum, you can see here we've got our discussion board entry for group 1. Obviously there is nothing in there at the moment because group 1, have been a little bit slack and haven't posted before the session started. But that's where you'd go and you'd comment and discuss that particular issue. So if we then go back to our site, you can see further down here that I've got some review questions under each topic, which is a really nice way to structure your learning. Okay, to prepare a few notes around those questions. Got a fair few in topic 3. And we've got a little brief solutions. Now, the solutions are there just there to give you some support. What I really advise is that you structure your note taking around these questions. If you can do these calculations, if you can make a set of notes around the written stuff, you will have really addressed most of the learning objectives, well, all of the learning objectives in this subject. And then under most topics, I've got a little quick multiple choice quiz. Now that's not for marks, it's for your own learning. You can do it as many times as you like. It's really for revision and learning purposes. So that's the layout, if you like, of the content in this subject. Not all, obviously, topics have these little whiteboards, only the ones that require calculations, and I've tried to put them in there, but all of them have the interactive tutorial component. So it's standardized, they all look similar, you're going to have a similar format in every topic that you come to. So I think it's pretty easy to navigate that way. Now up here, if we go into discussions, okay, you can see all of the discussion boards that have been established in this subject. So there's one here, a class introduction, and you can go in there and introduce yourself to your classmates. We've got just general discussions in the subject, and then each of the group entries, okay, that feed through from whichever group you have signed up for. Okay, so only one person per group needs to actually post the forum post to that discussion board, and then the rest of the class can comment on it. So all of that is laid out in those discussion boards. They're just like what the old, under the old Interact, they'd be probably what we'd call sub-forums. Okay, so that's the layout of your subject. I hope that you enjoy studying, and beg your pardon, I better take you through a few more things. The online meeting, I'm sure you'll all be familiar with that you go into and there's your online meeting room. It's fairly self-explanatory, the My Grades, EASE for your assignment submission, and the resources. There's not a lot of stuff in this subject stored in the resources because I've tended to embed it throughout the topics, but from time to time things will be put in that resources folder for you, but they'll let you know via an announcement. Okay, thanks guys, have fun this session.